But he didn't want to be, tagged with the cross-dressing thing. But you were portraying that same thing. You understand? And so cross-dressing has been there. It started all the way in the 70s in Nigeria. So I am saying that, in fact, it began from Nigeria.
This is the Big Plates Conversation, and it's proudly sponsored by Onekingmultimedia Mineral Water. So tonight, we go straight head on head with our conversation. Today, our conversation is centered on cross-dressing in Nigerian and Ghanaian comedian or comic content. Yes, that is what we are looking at. And so we are trying to explore the hilarious and thought-provoking, world of cross-dressing. We've seen it all over social media. Now, men want to dress like women to get the art of comedy out, whereas women stay dressed as women. What is actually happening? We will take a look at Nigeria and Ghana. So let me quickly start the conversation with you. We've seen cross-dressing in Nigeria. We've seen cross-dressing here in Ghana. Let's take a look at can we say that Nigerians actually started this and we have copied on that one too?
Hetty, cross-dressing did not start today. So way back in the 1970s in Nigeria, cross-dressing was happening.
So the history is from Nigeria?
Yes. So way back in 1970s, in the 1970s, we had this man called, I think, Area Scatter. Yes. And he was doing cross-dressing and on the streets of Nigeria and everything. And in the 80s too, there was another man, I've forgotten his name. I'll try and get the name and I'll let you know about him. He was also cross-dressing. There is this television man somewhere in the 2000s. Aiden Derele. That's how they call him in Nigeria. He was a TV man. And he didn't want people to tag him with a cross-dressing tag.
Okay.
But he was a man and was dressing like a woman. But he didn't want to be, tagged with the cross-dressing thing. But you were portraying that same thing. You understand? And so cross-dressing has been there. It started all the way in the 70s in Nigeria. So I am saying that, in fact, it began from Nigeria. And those people, even though they had issues, people also had, there was the comic part of it. The Area Scatter, that man, for example, he had his normal life that he lived. In everyday life, you see him doing his own thing. But once he's out of work and you see him on the street, he has cross-dressed. He dresses like a woman. Yes. And this is way back in the 70s. So the likes of Bobrisky Dems, they are just beginning. So it's been there. So the Nigerians started this.
And we have copied.
Why not? Because we always want to copy something from the Nigerians.
I see.
Especially if it's, bringing in some revenue, bringing some money into somebody's pockets. We copy them. And Nigerians have been successful with this thing.
Yeah.
Yes, they have been successful. Getting gigs and all of that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what these brands also see in these cross-dressers. You understand?
Now, let's go back into time and look at Tyler Perry. He brought out this movie, Madea. And we saw how, right? It was Tyler Perry who came out with this movie, Madea. And we saw how he dressed. A woman, typical woman, with the wigs, with, the big body, the butt, the breast, and all of that. Let's take a look at the influence of these personalities, the influence these, Western cross-dressing has had on Africans. Because if someone is an ardent follower of Western movies and all that, they realize that, wow, this person did this and this movie was nice. Okay, so if I'm a content creator or I'm into movies or I'm in the media space, I could actually, also get this particular side and also copy, because there are people who actually took the life of Michael Jackson so personal that they lived like him, they dressed like him, they danced like him, everything like Michael Jackson, because they saw the influence he carries. Now, let's look at Madea. People actually also looked at him and tried to emulate who he is, even though it was just a character, not a daily thing. But people are doing this on the daily now. So let's take a look at the influence Western culture when it comes to cross-dressing has had on Africans. Let me come to Willie on that one.
Yes, I believe the impact or the Madea example you gave is a good example. But if you look at their culture, there are things these whites have adapted. The LGBT conversation. It is something that is normal in their country. That's why there are people who are able to do transgender dressing and all of those things. But in our part of Africa where we frown against things like that, and then people find it very easy with the help of social media to lavish it in our faces, that at this point you have someone like Bobrisky who feels higher than females. He goes to events and is being awarded as best dressed female. And there are females there. What kind of craziness are we in? In the sense of being in Gen Z, Gen Z. Only animals. It is only animals that will admit this, that a fellow man would have to dress like a female to get your attention. Then it means you need to get checked as a person. If you find him or her interesting, watching your fellow man dress like a woman, act like a woman, and you are happy, you need to get yourself checked.
You need to get yourself
checked. You see, nowadays, even those guys that they do them, they actually act like ladies. I don't know where they also go and buy the acne from. Their face is only pimples.
Yeah, they are. I
don't know if it's a trend. And they're all acting, and so you this boy. I find it very...
We will get into that one. Now, let's zoom into the bigger conversation. We've taken a look at, the history of how cross-dressing came about. So it backdates to Nigeria,
exactly,
where we've had people, dressed like women. It's funny how we don't get a lot of women dressing like men, but we get a lot of men dressing like women. And we've seen the influence Western, cross-dressing might have had on Africans. Now, let's go into the bigger conversation. The influence of Nigerian content creators on Ghanaian content creators. Now, this is the bigger conversation. So when you go to Nigeria, we have Bobrisky, we have we can
Bobby Brown. Is it Bobby Brown or is just Brown?
James Brown.
James
Brown.
We
have others too. But these are the two popular ones. Bobrisky started off as a cosmetic seller, selling creams, The next thing, we see him, putting all the makeup, doing the lip fillers, eyebrows, and all of that in heels. First of all, initially, people thought, once, you're selling to ladies, it's more like that was his bait of
marketing
trying to...
strategy.
Exactly. But we realized this gentleman has now undergone cosmetic procedures to have breasts, to have butts now, has cheeks now. What is happening? Let's look at Ghana. Now, with the advent of Bobrisky in the game, James Brown in the game, all content creators, of course, is there coming a time where the men in Ghana who are dressing like women would also be undergoing procedures? Is it possible for a thing like that to happen?
It is gradually coming. It's like a wind that is blowing.
Let me come to Shanzi. Let's take a look at the influence Nigerian cross-dressing has had in Ghana or Ghanaian content creators.
Okay. So when Chris was talking, he made mention of cross-dressing starting from Nigeria. So then it means we are learning from them. So it's fine to say they are a whole,
forefathers.
It's influenced.
Yes, their attitude has actually had an influence on us. So coming to your question, Hetty, when you talk to these people about cross-dressing, one thing that they put across is that they are not gays. Why do you give me that smile? They are not gays.
So it's such a hard pill to swallow.
They are not gays, but they are doing it.
Do you believe they are?
That they are gays?
Do you have evidence?
I don't have
No,
evidence.
we're not talking of evidence. Do you believe they're gay? There are times when you see someone drunk, you don't need to smell their mouth. You see from afar that they are drunk.
Well, I've not really had personal encounters with them.
Okay.
So I can't really tell if they are really gay. But then what I can say for sure is some of them
Act like it.
they overdo it. And they do act like, and you can now the gays don't even act like women anymore. Most gays who would have thought Hayford was gay.
No, but he said he went for experiments. His own was experiment.
Who would have thought to say that? You understand? Nobody. So it comes to the point where you see these things and then you sit and ask yourself, what is actually going on? Where did this start? How did we get here? Is it all in the name of content creation, or there is more to what these people are doing? I saw a video of one content creator. I got very embarrassed. I got embarrassed, but he's not embarrassed. So I can't, chastise him or anything like that. This guy was at the airport, dressed fully like a woman, with heels, short sneakers, tops, wigs, makeup fully done, acting like a woman, all in the name of content creation at the airport. At the airport, too.
That's a big place.
So I was like, woof. And the way he's acting there, they act
So you're
more
talking,
than how
you're talking
women
about
even.
Akonoba, right? Yeah. I know.
They even act more than we act to.
Yeah.
The men that want to be like us, they are overdoing us. Because as a normal woman, you are not stressing to be a woman, but they are trying so much to be women, and so they are doing it so much that I'll say,
Sometimes so disgusting.
I don't know when a woman will talk to be like, hey, I would smart me and we don't even do that. But then they are trying to be us, and they are even doing more than us. I want to ask them, what is it that they've seen in women that they want to be like us? Is it because we get things on a silver platter? Is it because God created us with, so much, you're kind of saying, advantages? What is it that they've seen? Because it's like almost everybody wants to be like, almost all the men nowadays want to be like women. Just recently, I think last 3 weeks or last 2 weeks, this party went on at Rich Condos.
Yeah.
The whole black party.
Two guys.
The whole black party.
Yes.
The whole black party.
2 guys dressed like women. Whining their waists.
I was like, yay.
You're doing kukere.
And then some people, some influencers that act like women.
Yeah.
But they dress like men. But then, their actions and everything looks like a woman.
Tom and Jerry. I've seen them. The Mitch brothers. Yeah.
And there are some kind of
Why are
makeup.
you afraid to call names? But that's the truth.
I saw them. They make, they are content creators as well.
Yeah.
They make videos and then they put on their Snapchats, their handles and all that. I saw certain videos that were not posted by them. And I was like, yay. So all these things were happening. Why didn't you post it? What were you hiding? What were you trying to hide?
Brand.
It got to a point where I said, okay, so all these people were there at their table. Why is it they take shots of something that they want
people to see?
Yes, they want it to be out there. And then they omit certain things. I saw something, I was like, yay. So these things are happening. And these are people that dress like men. But then they act like women. Someone will say, oh, hormones, no, jeans, no, yatia bread. they are not gays. We have that. But then let's be true to ourselves. This thing is really having a big toll on us. And then I think we should be careful about this whole thing. Because when you look at the Nigerians, when you say someone like Bobrisky, I don't know, but it's not a content creator. I stand to be corrected. Bobrisky is a cross-dresser, is a transgender. And she's a he's
She
is a transgender. And then our people here who are content creators are trying to learn from people like Bobrisky. Initially, we saw our people, that is the Ghanaians, we saw them, in the character of a mother, where they have their scarf on, they have their kaba and slits on, doing all those things and all that. We felt it's cool. But now we see the likes of Akonoba fixing frontals, having full makeup, dressing like women, going to places, and they tell us all is in the name of content creation. Now, the person already said, even his father has a problem with it, and he doesn't care. How much more me? There's nothing I would say that will get to his head. So, all we can say is that the Omuye Atra. Now, it is just
let's go to Nigeria. Now we'll take it a country at a time. Let's go to Nigeria. So we have Bobrisky in Nigeria. Brands are signing him. Nigeria, I could say, has a bigger population of Muslim as compared to Ghana. And we know that when it comes to these things, it's haram, Muslim community. What is happening?
But some of them are doing it.
But is it that the Nigerian government and its rules and its systems are not strong enough to stick to rules and what do you call it? Is it what's the word? Is it religious standards? Is it that the country is not strong enough to stand firm on religious standards? Because we have a lot of influencers in Nigeria who have built good brands, but these people are not attracting bigger brands to work with to get money. You pick someone like Bobrisky, make him or her, he or her, or he or she, or I don't know his pronouns.
No, but Hetty.
No, I'm making a point.
It's not him or it's him and her.
Him and her. Okay. You make him and her a brand ambassador, right? Okay. And there's so much he does now. More like, I don't know. He's and he has a lot of numbers. Crazy. He has millions.
A lot
of numbers, and this person is
he's doing things that a lot of people are not doing,
and he's constantly sending the information to the younger boys. We have boys who watch him, and it's natural that we have boys who even have low self-esteem. Hey, I'm a boy, I'm timid, I'm this. Okay, so Bobrisky transitioned into a woman. So what if I transition into a woman too? People will accept me. Do you accept that his presence alone can influence a lot of the boys in Nigeria to now turn into men, into women? And secondly, how is he able to even make the money? Look at the lifestyle he or she is living.
He or she
is living. Look at the lifestyle Bobrisky is living. He travels out of the country. Now, a big question to the Nigerian immigration.
His birthday recently.
He identifies as what? How does he dress when he's
so before everything, when he went to jail,
we would even come to that. He identifies as what when he's traveling out of the country. These are people your systems have made us believe that they are not accepted in the country. This is a culture we don't accept in the country. So when they are in your auspices, are there no laws working that we are looking for people who are homosexuals? We are looking for people who are transgenders. We are looking for people who are this. Now they find themselves in your auspices. No law works to get these people in your grips. No law That is one because I'm like, so how does he travel? Like how? Because the last time he traveled, I think he went to the UK or something. He even came to Ghana.
What's the name on his passport?
Idris.
Huh?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. He's called Idris. Yeah.
So that's the name on the passport.
I think Idris Okuneye or something. I'm like,
And he's a Muslim.
Yes. This is a man who is walking about with hips and breasts. And then these same people are pushing the agenda that we don't want such people in our country. And they find themselves in your perimeter. What do you people do? You let them go. Just like that. Recently, you arrested him for what?
Money laundering.
It's not money laundering.
No.
The spraying of money. So it's
I think it's...
it was part of the account. Money laundering was part of the account. When he went to the EFCC, they had to know that he had some irregularities with his financial work. So at that point, it was money laundering at that point.
They said it.
Have you read the report?
No, I'm asking you. They said it.
Yes, that was what was in the report. It was money laundering. It was part of it.
That was
money
only
laundering
charge.
was
Was
part.
that the only
But
charge?
for me,
It
I
was-
feel
no,
that
it was part
I
of the
feel that
charges.
for me, okay, it was part.
Yes,
but I feel
that's
the
what I'm
paramount charge was. I think it was something of the naira.
Yeah, so he was spraying cash.
Yeah.
Good. That was the main reason why they arrested him, and he went in for
I think 3 months or so.
3 months, and you couldn't arrest this person for any charge than that.
Where was he? Male prisons or female
It's a
prisons?
question.
He was in the male prisons.
We don't know yet.
That's what they said they would send him. No, we all have to believe what the police tell us
yes.
because we are not there.
And
So
in
that's it.
one
Yes.
interview, they asked him.
Is he safe there?
No, in one interview, they asked him, where did he go? Male prison. And he said, that is something he will keep. He's not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
but he can't talk about it.
So I'm like, why are you hiding it?
Why can't you talk
Why
about
should he
it?
talk
If
about it?
Nigeria,
You've been in
if
the
Nigeria
prison, so why can't
police
you talk
took
about
you
it?
to male prison, why can't you
Why can't you
openly
talk
say
about it? What's so
Unless
secretive about
maybe
that?
some one or two went on.
Kululubi.
Yes, that they've told you don't tell. Maybe we are taking it to the female or we are doing so. Don't tell anyone
tell
about
Maybe
it.
they are going to give you a
And the
private
moment
room.
he comes out to say they took me to a female, it shows that Nigeria has now accepted that we can now have men walking around with hips and breasts.
This one, if they enter him, they send him to the mill. Case, Baba.
He will be picking soap every
I
morning.
tell you.
They take him to the male issue. They
So
take him
now
to the
that's
female
it.
issue.
Because the female there, he can cause problems over there.
So now
And does he
does
still have? I
Then
thought
You have.
he still have it. He
I
still
thought
has
he
it.
said he
has a
did
stick, he has a
surgery
stick, he has a
for
stick.
So
Hey.
So now
I think
And
this is
another-
relevant now. The
another-
lady who said a set of female girls.
I think James Brown, for him, I don't know if he's not active in the cross-dressing lately. Because at a point,
I guess I saw a video of him.
I saw him switch back to dressing like a boy.
He said he does that for content.
for content, but Bobrisky is a full-time switcher.
Yeah.
He has switched permanently. And with his existence in Nigeria, we can confidently say Nigeria has accepted that transgenders can freely walk in their town. Because if a transgender can go to filling station to fuel car, buy properties, do business, then their shops are open for transgenders and all these squares and
Maybe it's because
LGBTs
it's
and all of
Bob
that.
Risky.
Who is he?
No, maybe maybe you should
How is
also
he
look
risky?
at the.
No.
You should also consider. You should also consider the legislation in the country. As I speak to
Legislation
you,
is what they accept that.
no. Maybe there are no clear-cut laws for that.
For what? The
For
LGBTQ.
for
That's a
arresting.
Muslim
I mean,
country.
no, this is not LGBT.
It's what?
It's
This
what?
is cross-dressing. He has no
LGBT.
No,
they
it's not-
see is
no.
transgender. He is transitioning.
No, what I mean-
Apart
No, what-
from that,
Yes.
he has come out boldly to say
Say
that
he
he
is
has
a woman.
men.
And he has men who
Yes.
sleep with
Okay.
him.
Okay, so what I know is that
He has a boyfriend, actually.
Papi.
somewhere in 2022, the Nigerian government, through the NBC, they ban, people with cross-dressing on TV and on radio. So
But not on social media.
I know social media,
But
yes,
not on social media.
Yeah, not that I know.
Doesn't make
What I
sense.
know is on
Because
TV,
they didn't
on
ban, because
national
we
TV.
see them on
We see
social
it.
Yes,
media.
on national TV and then on radio. they are banned on going on radio.
And to a point
The
where
law prohibits.
award shows to nominate this man to compete with women.
And so it's a sad situation. You see, it is something that we in Africa, especially Ghana and Nigeria, I think we if you don't talk about it and if you don't look at it critically, I think we'll get to a point where we cannot control it. Recently, you mentioned the
all in the name of content creation.
the all black party.
Yes, at the regional.
After the event,
Look at that.
the National Commission on Culture, the Dr. Few, I think he's the chairman also.
Yeah.
He came out to complain. He said, "No,
We don't accept
we
that.
don't accept that." And
What are they
and,
doing
and
about
there are
it?
no legislation. They are now
So the
thinking
earlier
yes,
they draft one to ban all these TikTokers all over the
PNDC law,
place.
some part of the PNDC law, they are now going to amend that. You understand? So we can have a
But
clear-cut
then
legislation
banning
for
it,
that.
wouldn't that also be a problem? Because that is somebody's source of income. And then there are some people that are doing
People
it
are
without
thieves. People are thieves, and that is
That is
their source of income. So it means we should
People
let them
are
keep
armed robbers.
stealing.
No, but this one. There are people,
it's the same thing.
there are people doing it.
People are armed
So
robbers.
you can't influence society without wearing a wig. Then you are not an influencer. It's only your
Okay.
head that is influencing.
Why? Okay.
People are armed robbers.
Maybe we can find rules regulated to a certain point.
No point. Once you are dressing like the opposite, it is no point. Very soon, women will be chasing men for cheating in their marriages, not women anymore.
No, it's not very soon. No, it's happening. Which one is very soon? That is happening.
Now let's look at Ghana. Let's come back to Ghana.
So you see, I was telling you about Nigeria and the fact that they started all the way. So in the 80s, they had King Calypso. This
That's the
name,
name you
yes,
forgot.
this name resonates with people. I mean, you mentioned King Calypso and everybody, yes, cast their mind back. So Nigerians have been in this business for so long a time. And at a point, King Calypso wanted to be identified as a woman. He wanted to change his sex.
Wow.
Later, when society began to talk about it, people said he was even impotent. And so he then got married and then gave birth. For people to know that.
Him to do it.
Yes. For people to know that he's potent. Even with that, he said he still wished to have changed his sex. And I'm talking about, this was in 1980s. This was in 1980s.
King Calypso.
Yes.
Now let's come back to Ghana. Let's take a look at our content creators, Akonaba, Dickness, Abokuma. We can
Why would you do that?
we can mention a lot.
Why did you do that? Let's don't allow that. Why did you do that?
What did I do?
Why did you show?
Why would you do this?
No,
That
you
Bakuba.
mentioned the name. Like these guys, whenever we talk about them, it's the same Nigerian conversation. Because these guys,
Oh, but thickness.
Look
Why
at
then?
No,
look
not
at
him
the
in
ex-
particular.
Look
No,
at
him in
the.
particular.
It's funny how you said him, but the name is Dickness. Now let's look at these people. The extent they are going. So without cross-dressing, they can't influence.
They can't make people
Sometimes,
laugh. They can make people laugh.
sometimes I feel like the brand that comes to these people for business and all that, I feel like they also play a major role in
But
this.
before the brand started coming to them because they gained the numbers.
Exactly.
Before the brands, these people were dressing that way. We saw Abokuma from here. There was no brand affiliation when he started.
We know that.
Sewing in the shop and all of that. Why would you think for once that as a man I need to dress like a woman? As a man, I need to talk like a woman before I can send a conversation or communication across. You were singing at Champs karaoke.
Personal attack.
Oh no, it's not personal. We saw who you were. You understand? We are not that. A very fine gentleman. Very fine gentleman. Now you want to be funny. So the only way to be funny is to dress like a woman. The only way, and it's so sad how it's now accepted all over, and they are recruiting new ones.
Yeah.
I used to look alike business, no.
They are recruiting new ones. The ugliest of it all is Akonaba. The ugliest, like it X.
But he looks like a mama.
It's an egg, like that guy.
It X me. Of it all.
He looks like a mama.
Now.
Mama di mama.
Now.
No, it's not his fault. Have you seen his D? I mean, sometimes.
Oh boy, what are you talking about?
No, sometimes
What are you saying? I'm lost. Where did he see
No,
it?
I saw that in his dress.
Where did you see that?
No,
it's true.
Chancy, that's far.
But where did you even see it? I'm surprised.
No.
When he dressed like a woman,
No,
the people
Chancy.
were like, the comments were like, I don't blame you because you have small D. I don't
Well,
blame you because you have small
no.
D. That's
Sometimes
true.
it might be the boxes he's wearing. So
No, it's not the boxers. He was wearing a short jeans. That was when he went to the airport. The D was very smart. The girl was like, no, you can't come and disturb anybody's daughter with this. So it's why you're doing this. That's what people said. And the comment section.
Now, listen. Look at Akonoba. We saw how he started. More like trying to tell the typical Ghanaian mother story.
It was nice.
All of a sudden, you were frontal. And you know, the day I was like, no, enough is enough, was the Valentine thing he did.
Yeah.
Sitting on a bed with a man, a man caressing, more like he playing the woman role. I'm like, this is
And
LGBT
now you know the
on
seamstress
display
and
on our
fashion
social
designers
media.
intentionally
So clothing for him. What are you people doing?
But I want to ask a question.
So-
Chris, please, did you attend the boys' school?
No.
Okay, so if you attend the boys' school and you watch most of the drama that they were doing, it was the same trend.
That was
They all
because
had
they
to-
didn't have women in the school, and it was for a play.
So it might be those same boys that have
Listen.
graduated and are doing this job.
Listen, let's not play about these things.
No, but it's true.
You went to a boys' school, right?
I saw that all the time.
And the boys, are they now content creators?
Oh, some of them have changed their lifestyle. Some do different. Some of them are not actors. But these people might be doing it in their school.
They might not
and
be
when
doing
they are
anything.
They are unemployed. They feel that can be something they can
They
do
are
now.
not doing anything.
Oh God.
Okay.
Hetty, according
I feel it's too. See, you know, to an extent where he now tries to dress like a man, and it just doesn't look good.
yeah.
It looks like a teddy bear in a cloth. I'm like, what is this?
I think at this point you have to go and host because host not emotional.
See, the
What's
thing
not
is,
emotional?
if we are copying Nigerians, right, when it comes to cross-dressing, fair enough. Are they doing what we are doing?
No, they are doing more. Hetty, these people that you cited as example, the Bobriskis, the James Brown, they are doing more.
Bobrisky chose his path. He's not telling story of grandmother, grandfather.
On what I said, this is me.
This is me.
But you boy are trying to hide it.
Bobrisky came with business. I'm selling bleaching creams.
Yeah, but
And this
the
is
likes
who
of
he is.
the likes of Brother Shaggy and all of those people.
Brother Shaggy is not dressing like a woman.
Who is Brother Shaggy?
Brother Shaggy is not
Brother
dressing like a
Shaggy.
woman. He's not dressing like a woman. He's a full man, more like a tag all the time.
Okay, so we have
But-
content creators like this guy. There's this guy that's
Sydney
it's not
Soka.
Sydney.
Sydney
This
is
other
a
guy,
content creator.
He has like
this man.
a son and a mother. At the same time, I forgot his name.
I've seen that guy.
Yeah, he has
Sydney,
like a mother. Yes.
Do you know that?
And then he dressed like a
Brain
woman.
Jota. Brain Jota is even a TikToker.
Yeah.
This guy, you are doing well. What's the name? Benefactor. Oh, this man.
Sabinus?
No.
Investor.
No, the other one. Who? Freaky. I forgot his name.
Macaroni.
Macaroni.
It's
Okay,
a
macaroni.
TikToker.
Fish
Macaroni.
pie.
Macaroni.
We have all
Nasty-
these people.
Nasty Black.
Nasty
Black.
Yemoli.
I really want to get that
who
name.
recently
Babe,
got
show my
married.
friend.
Is
Right,
a
nobody
TikToker.
knows.
I've forgotten his name.
Sabinus is past.
Charlie.
We have all these
And
people.
now we have fish pie.
Fresh pie.
Who's fish pie?
Now, wow.
You see, these Nigerians are using what their influence and all these things in a different way. As for our people, they're cabernet slitna. Why? Is that the only way? Especially when this is a very sensitive conversation in our country now. All of a sudden, all the men are
That is
dressing.
petty. That is
Why?
what, when you talk to them, that is what is paying now. That is what they are all doing. That. So if you think people were not coming in for them, they were just doing it. Nothing is yielding out of what they are doing now. You think they will still
And
do
now
it?
a lot of
I
gays
also
are
blame the
now,
brands and everything.
covering up with cross-dressing,
Exactly.
TikToking.
That's true.
And it's sad.
That's true.
That's why the NCC is worried about.
They are now
the
worried.
system. They
What are
worried
they
about
doing
the
on
system.
social media? Are they not on TikTok? Those videos wasn't on TikTok they saw, or was on people WhatsApp status?
The NCC, those videos were on social media.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And what have they done to those people involved in cross-dressing? You think?
Because,
You
see,
think?
there are-
You think?
That's why I saw her educator.
You
There are
think? You
no-
think? No,
there are-
listen.
That-
You
that-
think?
that-
You think
that-
now?
no.
You think now? Wanting something is coming out to spew English. We don't accept this. We don't this, and then end of story.
And they were worried. They were even more worried about the fact that it happened in Kumasi, where they hold culture in a very high esteem.
Who did the event? Isn't that Kobe Sapon? And what has happened to him after? Is this the first time he's done all black? Is this the second time he's done all black?
This time around, I think
no
it
events.
went overboard.
No.
And so that's why I'm
You have
sure
the likes of Charlie Dior, the likes of the Mitch
Sex
brothers,
people
the
are
educators.
accepted at an event.
Eh,
Gone are the days when
but
these
the
people
event
were
was
hyped.
the event was open
There
to
are people
everyone.
they intentionally invited.
And these people were packed.
Yeah.
Ha. Trip paid, everything.
All right.
This is sad. What
Fish pie.
is our
Now, wow.
our this thing turning into? Anyway, let's look on to some other angles when it comes to this cross-dressing conversation. Now we can compare Nigeria and Ghana. Let's look at the approach when it comes to cross-dressing in comedy. Like I stated earlier, for me, I feel when it comes to comedy, Nigerians are not cross-dressing in comedy. Ghanaians,
Some of them are doing it.
on the scale of 100.
On the scale of 100.
Nigerians are doing 1% when it comes to cross-dressing in comedy.
Okay.
But as we have, you mentioned that
Okay.
Konoba,
Nigerians are doing like
Ahmed Boy.
You know?
Some boy, his name is Ahmed.
Ahmed.
Ahmed. And there are a few other guys, a host of different names that you sit back here like, so aside is what do they bring to the table?
That is what they are known for. So they can't even just this Enofojo. When
What's your Enofojo?
Enofojo, he's part of Dickness crew.
And recently, a radio station in Cape Coast made them brand ambassadors. TW, whatever.
You see, the issue is the craze for numbers.
That's the thing.
Everybody's looking
the
at
brands,
the numbers game.
Exactly.
Numbers.
The brands are
We are
working. That
playing
is
the
what is
numbers
paying.
game.
Seriously. So they don't care about what we are doing right now. When they see this, they will just laugh because the money they are getting. Sister, so
It's all about the numbers game.
It's true.
Now.
They'll tell you.
That's why people would go to the Mitch brothers. People would go to
Exactly.
these
advertise.
channels because at the end of the day, the youth are watching him. He's clocking like
We think we are-
5,000 views
yes.
in an hour.
Yeah.
I am a product seller. I'm looking at markets. I feel like how to get my market value, I need to send it there.
So I don't care about
for
who is
them-
cross-dressing and who is...
and everybody has found out that is a winning strategy for them.
Yeah.
And who changes a winning strategy? No one does that. So for me, the conversation about cross-dressing, I don't support them, but I feel like in a way it has come to stay. And it's something that we'll find hard to eliminate.
Yeah.
Advanced world will tell us that the person feels this how they want to look. Fine. But for me as a person, I'm not looking at telling any family member of mine or getting myself involved in that sort of act. Period. That's how it ends.
Now, what's the way forward? Now, before we get to the way forward, let's take a look at how cross-dressing has influenced our cultural values in Ghana.
So I don't think it has drastically done that yet,
Sure.
but it's gradually creeping into it. Yes, and so if care is not taken, it will eventually creep into it, and then it will be very difficult for us to go back and start all over again. And so I'm sure that's why this time around the NCC saw what happened at All Black Party, and they came out to talk and trying to amend the PNDC law, to ban some of these things. In fact, we are a people of culture. Ghana, we are people of culture. We hold our culture in a very high esteem. And so these are not things we would want to see our young kids do. You put on your TV, you switch on your radio, you go to, you go on social media and you see young kids do some of these things, and you are never going to be happy as a Ghanaian, as a typical Ghanaian, a people of culture, people of tradition. You wouldn't, you wouldn't be happy seeing our young kids do some of these things. So, if we are not careful, and it gradually gets into the society, it sinks down, and young kids getting involved and all of that, it'll go out of hand and it will be very crazy for all of us.
Shanzi, let me come to you. So how has cross-dressing influenced our cultural values and then, how we are as Ghanaians?
Well, I think I'll side with Chris. I don't think it has influenced our cultural values. Well, if we don't take care, it might influence it in the future because of how things are going now. Now, you know how it started. It started and everybody was okay. Artist said, "Mommy, it's okay, it's fine." And then boom, we saw the whole transition. Now a man can, be seen in a woman. It's an intentional thing. They saw women attire and wear the corset dresses, the makeup, the shoes. And the funny part is, you see the brands coming in for these people. So someone who is a fashion designer would bypass a woman and go to a man who cross-dresses and sew a dress for the man to model in it and promote her business. Someone who is who sells jewelries will go in for a man to be a brand ambassador for his or her product or whatever. And it's quite sad. See, I quite quiet to say, if you don't cross-dress, you're not even going to get that numbers. Because we act like we frown on this thing, but then these people are having a lot of numbers. And you ask yourself, who are these people?
Well, those watching.
Who are these people following? But they look at the comments. Only the comments is somebody's likes, somebody's views, just the comments. Look at the views they get. And so if you are a brand, if you are a brand or a business owner, and then you want to work with someone who can give you that visibility, of course you go in for people like that. And so it's making the whole thing crazy. The craze on cross-dressing is just so sad right now. And I feel like if we don't act
now
we will forever hold our peace or our silence, because a brand here, look at guy I'm some kind of Sam Speedy, right?
What's his name?
It's Sam Speedy or something. I don't want to, mix the names. I think it's Sam Speedy. That guy, he acts like a woman and then a man at the same time. So he acts like, the mother, and then he acts like the son as well. So when you see him on a normal day in a normal guy's attire, you would see it's normal, like that's him. But then these people have capitalized on the fact that they dress like women.
Yeah.
So when you see them in a man's attire, you go like, you understand? It's funny. It's not even
else.
funny. It's sad.
Now, Wooly, let me come to you. The influence on sexuality and gender these days, with the presence of cross-dressing in our system, do you think it would push? We have younger ones, a lot of them on TikTok now, and these ones come in. The boys might find interest in wanting to act like women because they feel their role models or people they really love on TikTok are actually in that space. And with time, we will lose a lot of people. A lot of people can easily just get up one day and say, I want to be a woman. And it's more like
Hetty,
we can't actually
let me not
fight.
interject. Let me add this to it. That guy called Inufojo, he said he started like a man. He was acting like a man, doing contents and everything, and he wasn't getting the numbers. The moment he switched,
Is it by force?
You want to survive
Is it by
in a
force?
country
Like
like
I
Ghana.
said, who
you want to
changes the
survive.
winning strategy?
No, it's not about the winning streak, but is it by force?
By force to do what?
To what?
To survive?
No, to do content.
The question is,
If this is not working for you, why try to change who you really are? As in,
you see-
so
you see-
if
And it has worked for him. He's getting the money.
I blame
And these same
unemployment
people
too.
said this.
Yes.
Unemployment is the key.
Say one could score with you, my
Madoso. But you see, at the end of the day, when you
wasn't all these same people who said they don't get money from TikTok, it's their supporters and people who help them.
That story, I don't even believe that story.
I beg you.
But see, sometimes they look at it from the point that I found out my friend is Chris, and all of a sudden Chris started acting like a woman, and look at the numbers he's getting, look at the brands that he's working with. Naturally, I moved to sway towards that style.
And do you know that these LGBTQ people that are on social media acting like, oh, we are lesbians and all that, they get the numbers a lot. So people are starting to act like that without even being affiliated to the whole act. Exactly. Because they want the numbers.
This is sad. Now, where do we draw the line when it comes to sensitivity and humor? Where do we draw the line?
I don't think there would ever be. I don't think there would ever be a time where they would draw the line.
You sure?
Yes, I don't think it would ever happen because I believe it's something that has come to stay. And with the
when it comes to Akonaba, don't you think it got to a time people were drawing that people felt it's too much?
He should be arrested.
Too much.
But
he's still free.
Again, there are people who like that content. When you go and see that video, people are like the like button.
Yeah. I'm saying that because people are saying, "Oh, we don't like this." When you go there, you see the likes, you see the comments, and you go like, "Okay, so which people are commenting?"
So I feel the main thing that can help is who is regulating social media. Because on radio, no one is regulating. NCA is regulating them. On radio and TV, the NCA is regulating. But on social media, who is doing the regulations? Because if someone is regulating, you know there are some content that doesn't need to come on national platform. But because we don't have all those systems,
maybe we have, but it's not really working.
It's not working, so also we don't have. If it's working, I would say
the only law that works in Ghana is the man not going to the woman's washroom.
Oh, but until you get a case, you never know it works though.
So sometimes I go to the men's washroom.
When the thing has dodo, you.
So the best I can say, I feel it can never end until there's a proper legislature written down. There's a proper structure regulating the kind of content that comes, because we are looking at the next generation. Like how the LGBT conversation was sent to Parliament. I believe this is one thing we should stand.
It can be pushed.
Or else we'll keep on seeing this thing over and over.
I think
again.
when that bill is passed to law, these things will.
The LGBT bill. I've not really read all that goes into it, so I wouldn't know if it would work or it wouldn't work.
Might.
Yes,
So
It might. Chris,
So I was telling you about Dr. Few, and so when he said that they get their powers from, or they were established, the NCC was established by PNDC law 283 or so. It's time to be corrected, but it doesn't give them the power to go after some of these people. They are for culture. They are responsible for culture. And so the law does not give them that authority. They do not have that legal authority to go directly at these people. You understand? So they are now trying to amend that PNDC law that actually established them, so that they will get that legal authority to go after some of these people who cross-dress and all of that. And so let's see, as Kobe mentioned, let's see if there will be proper legislation that can, until that time, I mean, you cannot just go out there and start arresting people. It doesn't work that way. Until there's a proper legislation, there's a proper legal authority to go after these people. I don't think there's anything we can do.
But let me add this. The funny part is that particular group, the Dickness, the Fojo, the Junior, there's this guy. He always acts like
Kojo Junior. He doesn't dress like.
No, it's not Kojo Junior.
I always say Junior.
There's this Junior. I want to work on Tuntum. They be know that Anya.
Oh yes,
you see that guy. Yes,
always with the black scarf.
Exactly. And then those group, they all act like women. I don't know if you've seen that.
Yeah.
All of them. They have this women mannerism and
Obviously,
all that.
that's what
all
sells.
of them.
Yeah, was someone
Women are really powerful.
Yeah, what's up?
So,
Wow.
ladies and gentlemen, this is where we wrap up on our Big Plate conversation. I'm sure you did enjoy. So kindly subscribe to our socials and share all our content, our videos, and every other thing we put out there. We are back same time, God willing, next week. Have a wonderful time.